feature of the weekend. And it's going to be, again, TJ Moon that will lead the field to the green here in just a moment.
Of course, the guy that's chasing TJ Moon in points starts outside row number 2. That is Bryson Nichols in the white number 80. Those are the two you want to keep your eye on. That is where the national championship lies between TJ Moon and Bryson Nichols. Both of them fantastic racers. They have been at it all summer long. One will go one track, one will go another, and more often than not, the two of them end up at the same track. They have got about a 50-point advantage, 51 to be exact, from Nichols on back to Landon Burbage in the 3 car. So while it's still mathematically possible that Landon Burbage could end up as a national champion, realistically, the number of races left and everything else make it very difficult, but certainly not impossible. But if he can get the win here, and those two may have misfortune, that could also work in his favor as we get set to go.
Working their way through 3 and 4. Green flag in the air for the first time for the Bando Nationals. Good side-by-side headed down into turn 1. And it looks like a good battle there. Colt Johnson trying to stick to the outside. Oh, he's going to push up the track just a little bit, though. And that's going to allow TJ Moon to get clear for the first time in this one.
Again, I've been very impressed. First time here at Hawkeye Downs, the high side on this quarter mile for the Bandoleros. To see somebody like Colt Johnson be able to make that work. And you've got so much space and so much room on the exit of turn 4 to kind of arc the front straightaway. You can really carry a lot of speed. We see a lot of different lines. And now Lincoln Johnson trying to get underneath of Colt Johnson. And behind him, Bryson Nichols trying to fend off Landon Burbage. That's the fight for 4th as they lean on one another.
And Nichols got a little bit sideways coming off of turn number 4 there, but luckily did not have contact. As we see the 000 and the 24 still side by side. Now coming off of turn number 4. The 24 gets loose again. Turn 4 has been very, very slick for these drivers today.
Yeah, you start getting the sun beating down, get some rubber on the racetrack, it can get slick as we've got caution on the speedway. Yellow is out. Looks like problems here maybe for the 7 of Stein in the front straightaway.
Yep, 7 of Stein was slow. We'll have to get a replay, see if maybe we can see what happened there.
All right, 7 will be our penalized.
Going to keep it rolling.
Single file. Taylor will get you lined up here in a second.
And we've got car coming off the track as well. Looks like the 5 car. I'll have to look and see. Going to take some pit work. So the 7 will go to the rear. See if we can see a replay here. Oh boy, yeah. That 5 was slow, and that's we see on pit road now. And unfortunately just caught up really quick and had to make a hard left turn to try to avoid, and sent that 7 of Stein for a spin. One more look here.
Here's your lineup driver.
Just had a very, very quick closing rate on that 5. And unfortunately decided to spin it instead of
9
get into the 5.
0 0 0 2 4.
And that is the 5 of
0,
Christopher Flynn.
3, 29 60 00 11 12 110.
And it looks like Flynn's day is
57,
done.
Yeah, the Panda doesn't have any sort of, what do pandas eat? I already forgot.
7.
It's like bamboo or something?
Yeah, yep, that'd be, I think that's right.
Yeah, the Panda has no more bamboo, apparently. Yeah, at least that's what it says on the roof.
So we'll get him lined back up here, and it's going to be TJ Moon on the inside of row number 1. And Lincoln Johnson making his way up to 2nd. So we'll start on the outside there. 1 to go this time. We're going green when we come back around. See what that 24 of Colt Johnson can do. Green flag back in the air. TJ Moon with another good restart, as the 24 of Colt Johnson as well. They head back towards turn 3. 2 wide, back in the pack for that third position. It's the 3 of Landon Burbage trying to take over that spot, and he's going to clear for it. Ooh, big wiggle by the 000.
Lincoln Johnson had his hands full, no doubt about that. That had disaster written all over it. He was able to wrestle that car back under control, but he has been falling since the outset. Remember, he started outside the front row, or check that, inside of row 2. He has been falling backwards, as has his row mate, Bryson Nichols. It's not been a good race so far for Nichols, as he has lost a couple of spots and just trying to stop the bleeding right now to try to have a shot up front. But I think Colt Johnson might be the car doing that very shortly.
We just saw Axel Odenhoff in the 29 making a move, but now we've got a battle for the lead. The 24, Colt Johnson, to the inside of TJ Moon. A little bit of a wiggle there, but he's going to take over that lead spot. And here comes the 3 as well of Landon Burbage.
Burbage thought there was something there again. Johnson bobbles on the exit of turn 4. We talked about, and caution is out. We've got problems on the speedway. It looks like maybe in turn 3, Peyton Harbison, I believe it is. Yes, it is. Going around, getting into that turn, so that will slow us. Now the question is, did they score the lap, and is Colt Johnson going to be the leader, or do we go back to the last completed lap? Before that, Colt Johnson hopes the answer is the former, not the latter, as he would be scored the leader on this restart.
57, you will go to the
Yeah, the board shows right now that the 24 was ahead, but the 9 currently says he's ahead. So we will get official word from race control, and we'll get him lined back up.
24 just hold tight right there.
And you see the damage there as well for the 24, leaving the pit area.
Yeah, Blake Michael, I wonder if he may have had a piece of that action to head to the work area and check everything.
Race control says the 24 was the leader of this one.
60,
Yeah, I saw TJ Moon pull back ahead, and certainly he was going to contest that. I don't blame him. That's what I would do too until I was told otherwise. But race control has the final word, so they have said Colt Johnson will be the leader and the control car on this restart. And again, now once more, the 2 national point contenders, TJ Moon and Bryson Nichols, are lined up nose to tail on the outside. Haven't seen a lot of TJ Moon on the outside. Nichols has been forced to be up there recently. Perhaps Nichols can learn something, or has learned something, that can allow him to get around TJ Moon.
And the key thing to watch on this restart, obviously we've seen the 24 Colt Johnson super fast so far. The 3 also was bringing that speed there too. So on that inside line, it's going to be very interesting to see what those guys do on this next restart.
It's going to be very interesting. And for TJ Moon, this is a race that I think holds a lot in his heart. One of our crew members happened to run into some of his crew in the elevator at the hotel this morning, and they said this is probably going to be the last season in Bandos for TJ Moon. He's going to get late model racing. In fact, has one next week at Irwindale Speedway already scheduled. And off the restart, not a good restart for TJ Moon. It's allowed Bryson Nichols to get underneath of him. This is the fight for the national championship and what now is about the 5th spot on the racetrack.
They were 3 wide that time. Now they've sorted it out, but those 2 standings leaders still side by side. TJ Moon trying to work his way back around the outside, but it doesn't look like he's going to be able to keep that spot on the 80. Little bit of a nudge going down into turn number 3.
A little bit of contact. TJ Moon says, I don't like being back here. Now, instead of being in control of this race, well, he gets a reprieve for a moment. Caution is out. Turn 4, we've got 1 around, and that is the 7 of Stein again. So that'll slow us with 14 laps to go, and now TJ Moon has got his work cut out for him, I believe. Unofficially scored in about the 5th or 6th position. I think he would love to start on the inside of this restart, but he may be forced to start on the outside, which is not good if you're a TJ Moon fan.
00, 110,
Yep, it looks like he's going to be on the outside and definitely trying to warm up those tires. Let's take a look at the replay here.
41, 7, starting.
Yeah, hard to see. It was back there off in turn 4. We'll take another look at it. Just all looks like, yeah,
It looks like that landing
by
in the 3.
myself. I think that's how the song goes, right?
That is a common theme we've seen today is getting in a 3 and in the middle there. That is a struggle. So, again, the key thing to watch out for here now is the 80 gets to start on the inside, and we've seen that inside row really make a lot of gain here in the last couple of restarts.
Yeah, the inside kind of seemed to be the place to be, especially on the initial start. Once you get rolling, you get some momentum, you can kind of make the high side work, but it does take a little bit. And TJ Moon, once more, is stuck on the outside. And what pains him, I'm sure, even more is to look to his left and see Bryson Nichols. So do not be surprised if TJ Moon gets a little aggressive on this restart, trying to either keep Nichols behind him or try to advance here as they work their way towards the start box.
Quick pace here once again. Green flag back out, and the 24 gets ahead. They're 3 wide back there once again. 29 looking to find his way through. There's TJ Moon on the inside.
What a move by Nichols. Started 5th, made the hard left turn off the restart, moved up to 2nd. Nichols follows suit. He was able to get to the bottom and get clear, so now they are nose to tail. Again, as they run, I believe the tiebreaker would go to TJ Moon with the number of wins, but Bryson Nichols would love nothing more than at least have that shot to get one more win this season and put the tiebreaker on the finish here at the Nationals.
Nichols leaving that door open on the outside. Now Moon's going to have a chance to get in. They make contact in turn number 3.
Did you see how sideways the 9 car was? He put that thing in turn 3 full send. He had it clicked all the way to the right. Same thing there in turn 1 as he slides up the racetrack again. Now Bryson Nichols is able to get to the bottom. He'll lean on TJ Moon. The 2-point championship leaders up the racetrack. They've lost a couple of spots and now fall back to 3rd and 5th respectively. The fight continues off turn 2.
You could see the body language of the 80. He was trying to get back to that 9, and he did, but now TJ Moon's going to have it. There's contact, and there goes Nichols.
Yellow.
Nichols off track in turn 4.
Wow. Lincoln Johnson saw an opening, put his car down there, and Bryson Nichols understandably didn't want to give him a whole lot of room, gave him just enough for one race car. Unfortunately, there was so much speed they carried into the corner that I believe the 000 slipped, and when he slipped, Bryson Nichols was there. They kind of hooked front end and back end, and up the track, Bryson Nichols went. That had the potential to be very ugly very quickly.
And you could see the frustration there on the screen. We'll take a look at the replay.
Your lineup, 24.
Yeah, it looked like Johnson may have just hit a bump or something down there, and that shot his car up the racetrack into Bryson and Nichols, and nothing anybody did wrong there. It's just kind of a product of hard racing, but man, oh man, you got to feel for the 80 Brigade right now. Their championship hopes may have just gone up in the grass over there in turn 4.
And we have seen that 80 does not like to give a lot of room to that inside. And yeah, it was just tight racing there. And we could see the frustration, the 80 pounding the steering wheel there as they called out that the 80 would be the penalized car. So unfortunately for him, it's going to be an uphill battle from here.
And we see now Lincoln Johnson. There's Landon Rapp back there in the Joyous Seating shirt. He's made the trip up here to Iowa, but he is working on that Bandolero. Rapp, a former national champion in his own right. But I have a feeling he has to tell the driver this might be the end of the day, bud. They've got the right front tire off that car, and they are continuing to try to make repairs, but I don't know what's exactly bent. As looks like it might be more work than they had originally anticipated. Well, maybe not. That car will roll away. I will be curious, though, if it is as fast as it was earlier, if everything still is straight.
Yeah, not only does it have to be as fast as it was, but it's also a lot harder to come from the back there fighting through the rest of the field. It's not going to be easy as it was in the top 5 there. So now we've got it shaken up just a little bit. Colt Johnson and the 29 of Axel Odenhoff now in 2nd. Landon Burbage going to have 3rd. TJ Moon going to be in the 4th spot. And it looks like the 12 of Aspen Lang rounding out your top 5.
Yeah, Landon Burbage, he is still mathematically got a shot at this as far as the national points are concerned. I don't know if logistically, with the amount of races and race weekends left, it's going to be possible. But mathematically, he has got a shot at this. He has got a full 600-point wins this season and a lot of 97-point tallies. Those are either 97-point wins or 97-point second-place finishes. That fills out most of the rest of his bingo card this year, along with a couple of 94-point wins. So Burbage certainly, again, mathematically has a shot. Realistically and logistically, it might be a very tall order. But if he were to finish up, say, in the top 3 here, and TJ Moon and Bryson Nichols both have problems, that puts him right back in the thick of it. So he has a lot to race for here as well. That's the white number 3 car in the 3rd spot.
Transition back to single file restarts now, and we're going to be going green this time. High up on that track, the 24, and they're going to go green flag, but I can imagine that's not going to stay.
When the receiver says going yellow before you even get to the start-finish line, probably an indication that one didn't fly.
Yeah, we had the 24 had just a massive lead, and the 9 was already pulling out to make a pass, which is understandable, but unfortunately not allowed. So we're going to call that one back and do it again. A little bit of a bumper tag going on again up in the top 3.
We see this a lot sometimes. These drivers have learned a lot of restart games to play from watching the various mentors they have across the racing spectrum. And Colt Johnson, as good of a student as any of them on how to pull off a great restart, as he tries to do exactly that. Green flag is out off turn number 4, and he will lead the way to the first turn.
A lot better start and a good start also for Johnson in that 24. Now he's going to try to hold off the 29 and the 3. TJ Moon slipping back just a little bit. Big wiggle out of the 24 there coming off of turn 4.
Yeah, he has been right on the edge of control all day, has Colt Johnson. That's just kind of how he likes that car set up. He is somehow able to wrestle that thing under control. Look at this. Oh, boy. Burbage has got his hands full right now at the 29 of Axel Oldenhoff. And here comes TJ Moon trying to claim one more spot. That's up to position number 3 right now. Meanwhile, his closest pursuer again, Bryson Nichols, further back, currently being scored 13th with now 6 laps to go. I'm telling you, time is running out. There is Nichols off turn 4, trying to make up ground as fast as he possibly can, but it is a long way ahead for Bryson Nichols.
And he just had to take it 3 wide in order to make up those spots, but now you can see he's got a bit of a gap to the next car ahead. So, yeah, it is a long road from here with just 5 laps to go. He's going to need at least another caution as we keep an eye on TJ Moon, who's running. Oh, we've got trouble! Burbage goes around on the front straightaway from the 2nd position, and that is going to bring out a caution.
2 of the 3 national championship contenders who are here have had problems today. Wow. TJ Moon has got to be sitting here counting his lucky stars, although there's still a lot to go in this one because he is the only one that's not had a major issue. Burbage has spun. Nichols has had contact and spun off track. Does TJ Moon have something happen? You don't want to wish bad luck on anybody, but the way it's going, it looks like adversity is what you're going to have to overcome, and the later you have it, the harder it is for that adversity to be overcome as we take a look at what happened here in Burbage, just all by himself there off turn number 4.
And we've seen several other cars today, too. Just big wiggle off of turn 4. And unfortunately, it was too big that Burbage lost control. Looking at the 9 get around that as well. That's got to be a scary moment for TJ Moon. Also, seeing car spin right in front of you and knowing that, you don't want to get involved in it because that can also be your chances of the championship.
Absolutely. It's just as much something that's not your doing that can take you out of one of these races as it is something of your own doing, and that's what you got to watch out for. And that's what drivers have nightmares about. You always feel like you can control your own destiny when it comes to you and your race car, but it's all the other chaos around you that becomes a problem. And guess what happens now? One more time, TJ TJ Moon has to restart on the outside here at the Hawkeye Downs Speedway, and that's certainly not where he wants to restart. And unofficially, I'm looking at how they ran before the caution. Bryson Nichols will be restarting on the inside by my count in about the 9th spot. So we have to keep an eye on that. Bryson Nichols may have just had his prayers answered with that yellow flag.
And I will say, I believe they're single file restarts now, so he actually does get saving grace from that, as he won't have to start on the outside if that's the case.
Yeah, inside 5 to go. Looks like it's going to be a single-file restart. So, again, TJ Moon now counting his lucky stars one more time that he doesn't have to deal with a double-file restart.
Believe we're going back and forth a little bit on what the exact lineup is. Just a little bit of a communication, trying to go between the officials and the drivers, trying to make sure that everybody's happy in the spots that they're in.
Well, I'm not happy in my spot. I'm running 5th. I want to run in the lead.
If only it was that easy.
Well, I mean, if we're worried about who's happy with their spot, I mean, come on.
Currently in that 5th spot, though, we've got the 60, and that is Liam Hammond getting up into the top 5 there, just behind Aspen Lang.
Yeah, good run for Liam. And even the 57 there, Peyton Harbison. Remember, Peyton was sideways early in this race over in turn 3.
Absolutely. So going green this time, 5 laps to go.
That restart, TJ Moon did not leave anything on the table.
Got a good run right on the start and is all over the back bumper of the 24, Colt Johnson.
Meanwhile, further back, Bryson Nichols just got passed by Lincoln Johnson. Lost another spot as he's trying to move forward, but time is running out. Less than 3 laps to go as Harbison is off the racetrack in turn 1.
Harbison made contact. Actually, the 80 of Nichols got in there deep and made contact with the 57, which pushed the 57 off the track. So
yeah, we'll take a look and see on replay exactly what happened. I did look up and see that. They were side by side, but I don't know exactly what happened. It was certainly a moment for sure, as Bryson Nichols, I think, in a moment of desperation, could have had contact, but we'll wait to see what the video says for sure.
Take a look at it here. And
oh, yeah.
Yep, 2 just made contact together, and unfortunately for the 57, nowhere to go. And we were just talking about a great run there, but unfortunately he's going to have to come from the back to the front again with 3 laps to go. It's going to be a bit of a struggle.
Yeah, and watching the replay again in slow motion, Nichols just kind of stuffed it in there, and I don't blame him. I mean, it's getting down to the end of the race. You have no time to waste. You've got to take spots as they're presented to you, and he attempted to do just that. So we'll see what, if any, calls race control makes on that one for Bryson Nichols and Peyton Harbison, but certainly Harbison getting the short end of that stick off in the grass over in turn number 1.
That is the call that makes me glad that I'm sitting here with a microphone in my hand and I don't have to make that call.
Yeah, I don't get paid to make those calls. I get paid to sit here with a drink in my hand and watch a TV screen. One's a lot easier than the other, I promise.
Will be 80.
And
There's your lineup.
officials have announced the 80 is included in the penalty cars. And the 80's not thrilled about that. We see the hand out the window.
11, 00.
Yeah, it's not been a good day for Bryson Nichols, that's for sure.
7, 2,
He's going to try to take his spot back.
80.
Yeah, it's you feel bad. You work all year long to get into a position to be in the thick of the national championship, and you just, the bad days are going to come. You just hope the bad day doesn't come today. And unfortunately for Bryson Nichols, today has been that bad day. And he's not really done anything wrong. That's the really frustrating part. He's raced his race. He's tried to race clean. He's tried to race hard. And all the circumstances have put him in a spot that is not ideal. And he's kind of been the recipient of the short end of the stick a few times. But, you know, that's racing. That's what's going to happen. And unfortunately for him, he's likely going to have to come back and try it again next year.
And it's tough when you see that TJ Moon is up there still running in second, and you know you have to get back up there. So we're going to go green this time. Now 3 laps to go, and it's Colt Johnson, TJ Moon, Axel Aldenhoff, and Aspen Lang leading them back.
I don't think that's a good restart.
No.
Yellow.
I've seen a lot of hands out the window the last couple laps.
Yeah, TJ Moon, we talked about how he was going to be aggressive earlier in this race when he was in a little bit of a precarious spot. He's in a spot now where he needs to not be overly aggressive. The problem is he doesn't necessarily know where the 80 car is. All he knows is Bryson Nichols is somewhere immediately behind him, and he wants to try to put as much real estate between him and Nichols as possible. On top of that, he would love nothing more than to have a perfect season. A 2,000-point year for TJ Moon. There's a little bit of pride on the line here, but again, as we said earlier, you do not want to beat yourself.
Well, and that race car drivers like to win. So, yeah, even if you tell TJ Moon that, he's in a good spot for the championship right now, I know that he's still going to want that win as well. And it is very interesting when I watch the restarts from the 24, he enters turn 3 very, very high. He doesn't really come down the track and, wrap around. He enters almost, it reminds me like an IndyCar style restart where he likes to start high and carry that momentum down into turn 3.
Yeah, use the hill to your advantage. You can't really pass to the inside most places they race, so kind of works to your advantage when you do that. And by the way, before we go green, I want to give a call to that purple car in 4th, Aspen Lang. You talked about her earlier, making a few treks out here to Hawkeye Downs earlier this year. Driver from Wheatland, Wyoming, currently in the 4th position.
Green flag, and the 24 gets a big run. We'll see if they let that one go. Good start, if so, from the 24. TJ Moon now a couple car lengths behind.
Yellow, we're going to start it again. The leader jumped to start. Yellow.
Well, those of you watching on USLCI TV, you hear it straight from the race director's mouth.
Start the race.
There we go, yeah. The leader jumped to start, they say, so we're going to...
So do not take off until you get to the start
Flagman
zone.
telling them don't take off until you get to that restart zone. And it's outlined by the white paint and the orange cones. We'll see it in just a second right there on the camera. That's where they're supposed to start the race.
Where you started it the last time.
And, of course, race car drivers like to drive fast. They like to get to the restart zone fast. They like to start the race fast. So,
are you insinuating race car drivers would attempt to play games in a restart?
I'm not going to insinuate anything.
Why would you insinuate such a thing? I've never heard of it.
All righty, we're going to give it another try again. 3 laps to go. Colt Johnson, again, that high up, down the hill, green flag, back in the air. TJ Moon with a good restart as well.
Yeah, Moon's solid there, trying to make the outside work, and he and Colt Johnson pulling away already on this restart. They've got about 5 car lengths back to 3rd, and now 2 laps to go. Colt Johnson opened the door for TJ Moon.
Moon saw it coming, had a great run, but he gets a little bit sideways, and the 24 had to get into his bumper there. They were going to keep it going. White flag, though, this time the 24 driving in deep. Right now, TJ Moon leads them for the final time off of turn number 2. Does the 24 have a move to make?
He may not be close enough. It's a car length. He sends it in there. Can't get there. TJ Moon wins the Bandolero Outlaw National Championship feature and the point championship with a perfect 2,000-point season. What a drive by TJ Moon. He had adversity early, got shuffled back in the field, and was able to drive back not only to the front, but to the win here at the Hawkeye Downs Speedway. That is a wonderful race for TJ Moon. One he can hang his hat on. His closest pursuer, Bryson Nichols. Unfortunately, the short end of the stick multiple times at this one, just wrong place, wrong time. But both of them a fantastic effort, fun to watch, and TJ Moon, I have a feeling, is going to be very, very happy in victory lane, Caleb.
Yeah, Moon kept his composure, rebounded, and like we talked about, he wanted to get the win, not just the championship, but the win as well. Bryson Nichols unofficially came back to finish 9th, and Lincoln Johnson also came back to finish in the 5th position after having those struggles as well. So we're going to send it down to Jeff in Green State Credit Union Victory Lane, who is down there with TJ Moon.
As he gets out of the car, let's give it up for TJ Moon. I heard that as of last night that he hadn't seen his mom and dad for a couple weeks. He's been traveling races with the Great North Legends, our good friend Tim Brockhouse, in the Cochran Custom Builders, Redhead Racing, Dean Hanscom Heating, car number 9. Got the flames on it. We'll get a word with him here once he gets his safety equipment off here. travels all over racing. He's from Maine, so he's probably ready for a lobster roll, however you say that, right? So he's got to put his hat on. Good man. We'll get a word with him over here on this side of the car. TJ Moon, racer extraordinaire. And I heard from Jacob over there that this might be a national championship for you too, buddy.
Yeah, it is. That's really good. My last ever race in a Bando, we had to go out with a bang. Thank you, my dad, my mom, for letting me do this for 2 years. Thank you, everybody, for helping me back at the shop. Redhead Racing, my mom, everybody, thank you. I like to thank all my sponsors, Redhead Racing, Dean Hanscom Heating, Simpson, thank you for coming aboard. Thank you, everybody. Whaley's Food Service, thank you, everybody.
And that's how it's done. So tell us about the race here. You're out front, and then you weren't out front, and then you clawed your way back, had a couple restarts, but you played it cool, brother. That 24 is fast car.
Yeah, he kind of doored me up coming off of one of the restarts, had to work my way back, and then, just kind of kept going and never looked back.
So I understand this is your last Bandolero race. You're moving up. I heard some Legends races and maybe late models.
Yep. So, as soon as we go back to North Carolina, we'll be going to California to run Irwindale Speedway with the junior late model stuff.
Oh, and there isn't Madera Speedway too does those junior late models, I think. So, man, that'll be great. I've watched that on the YouTube channel, and that's some pretty exciting racing. You're going to grow up racing real quick.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, well done. Feature win. National championship. Here, you can take one of our feature win stickers. You can highlight your time here at the great Hawkeye Downs Speedway. What a great event. What a great race, and well done, driver.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, I'll send it back up to you, Caleb.
All righty, thank you, Jeff, and congratulations once again to TJ Moon pulling off the victory. Actually did the clean sweep here, got the win yesterday, got the win today, and is going to take home the national championship as well. Moving on to a late model next year, and we wish him luck. Glad to have him here, part of the Hawkeye Downs history. Hawkeye Downs turning 100 years old next year, so glad to have everybody that's here, part of that history as well. Next up, the final race of the day. And it looks like it's going to be the Legends Direct Young Lions race. Going to be 25 laps scheduled for that one.
I'll tell you one thing right now, Caleb. Having never been here, the racing that this quarter mile puts on, just fantastic. And, when you have drivers like TJ Moon that have career aspirations, you can run a racetrack like this, and I'll tell you one thing. From what I have seen, if you can run a Legend and Bandolero here as many varieties of line and things that this place gives you, you can go anywhere in the country and have a shot to excel. And, of course, it also is a testament to the platform the U.S. Legend Cars International has created and the NX sanctioning body, where you can come through here, race, win a national championship in the case of TJ Moon, and then work your way up to other benchmarks in your career. It is really fantastic to see that you can learn such great racecraft and so many great lessons when you run at this level. And TJ Moon, I'm sure, is going to be a threat no matter what he races in years to come.
Yeah, and we've been very fortunate, too, over the last couple decades to have a couple good highlights, such as Landon Castle, Joey Gase currently, owner and driver in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. And we've also had Sammy Smith race Legends here for several years as well. So we've gotten to raise a couple good ones, and, we've got a lot of talented drivers that race here on a basis. And it's not easy because it is the only asphalt track in the state. Except for, of course, Iowa Speedway. So we're the only full-time asphalt track, and it makes it difficult. But, yeah, we definitely race hard, race clean, and have a lot of fun here.
Yeah, it's been fun. I mean, I tell you one thing. If this was a racetrack near my hometown, I would love to come out here. And you guys have got a lot of great racing here in Iowa, whether it's dirt, whether it's pavement. I mean, I tell folks all the time, I've spent a lot of time down the road at the Boone Speedway with one of our sister networks that we work with IMCA TV. But the race fans in Iowa do not realize how spoiled they are, whether it is dirt primarily here or pavement. They don't realize how spoiled they are until they go elsewhere in the country and see just how good they have it. And